And we are live. Boom. Today is September 24th, 2024, and it's your boy's birthday. I'm turning the big 31. And usually around my birthday time, I like to reflect and think about the past year, think about everything in my life up to this point. And this birthday has been it's been a rare birthday. It's been special. It's been different in a lot of ways. And I think that I really needed to get this video out of my chest and really discuss how I feel about this birthday because a lot of thoughts, reflections, epiphanies have come from turning 31. Your boy is currently in Quito, Ecuador. I've been traveling all over South America this past year. I'm in my apartment, and the lighting here is not the best. As you can see, I got the city in the background. You can see a couple skyscrapers there in the background, but the lighting is coming this way, and it's usually best to have the lighting coming this way from the camera angle. So we got to work with what we got. We're gonna keep the camera rolling and get through this video. But that's just one thing to be aware of, man. The lighting is always best when it comes directly at you, but it doesn't matter. I think the value of this video is going to be more important. I'm also not going to edit it. We're going to keep it rolling. I want to be as transparent, as truthful, and real with you guys as possible. That's what I try to do all the time in my channel. And with anyone I meet, bro, if you meet me in person, you know that I'm a truthful guy. I try to be genuine with you and give you my realest advice at all times possible. So yeah, that's exactly how we're going to carry this video. It's going to be raw, it's going to be unfiltered, and we're going to reflect on the last year and just my entire life and how I feel going into my 30s, being 31. So, the first thing, guys, is that I came across this post on Instagram where it says that, like, I feel proud, but I still realize that I need to go fucking harder. And that's exactly how I think that's the sentiment that I have right now going into 31. Let me go ahead and share my screen here, guys, so I can show you. That's probably the biggest feeling I resonate right now is that I feel good. I feel like I've accomplished a lot. I've learned a lot in my 20s, but going into 31 is just a different feeling, man. You feel so this is the post here. This is currently stuck. Let me see if I can go to the post so I can show you guys. It says currently stuck between I'm proud of myself and I gotta go fucking harder. And that really is the tone. That's like the undertone that I have right now, how I feel in my life. I feel like I've accomplished a lot, learning mixed martial arts, traveling, dating wise, everything, bro. I feel pretty good, man. Like if I were to die today, I think I could go peacefully, man, because I've accomplished a lot, bro. I don't feel like my life lacks in anything. I don't feel like I lack in my health. I feel strong. I feel good. I don't feel like I lack in money. I have a pretty good career. I have pretty good money in the bank, and it's only getting better. And I don't feel like I lack in love. I've always had good relationships with the ladies. Good long term relationships, good short term relationships. So I don't feel like I lack. I don't feel like I'm in this scarcity mindset. I've always had abundance in my life. And for that, I'm grateful, bro. I'm grateful to God for allowing me to be in that position because I know there's a lot of people that just do not have that. And I feel good about that, but there's always like that itch behind me, bro. There's always that itch in my mind that's like, you have to get more. You need to accomplish more. It's this feeling that it's a double-edged sword because it makes it difficult to be satisfied in life. It makes it difficult to just to settle. There's always that more. It's like that Arnold quote where he says that, you know, like I don't want to stop. I want to go up. I want to achieve. I want to conquer. That's always like the sentiment that I've had throughout my life. And it's a bittersweet feeling. But I think that it's important to have that as a man. I think it's important to have ambition to keep striving for more and to keep growing. And I'm grateful for that feeling. But That's the biggest tone that I have. That's the number one feeling that I have. And the second thing is being a man, actually going into manhood and becoming a man. Before in my 20s, I didn't really have the feeling that I have now. I don't feel like I had the maturity and the experience to say that I was actually like a full grown man. But now that I'm 31, I'm farther away from my 20s. I'm no longer 30, and now it's starting to hit me that, like I'm a man, bro. Like everything, all the responsibility, all the accountability that I have, it starts to accumulate at this point, and you see how much people depend on you and how people react to you, right? Like whenever I'm in a social setting, like people look at me first to see how I react, because I think that's the territory that comes with being a man, from being a strong masculine man, is that you're a leader. You're naturally supposed to be a leader, and people treat you likewise, right? And they treat you like that. So it feels good having that responsibility and accountability, but manhood is something more serious. It's something more. It's more of a leadership position, and you can start to feel the weight and the responsibility that comes with it. The next thing is letting go, man. Letting go of a lot of things, man. Like in my when I was around 24 to 28, I was in a long term relationship, and that relationship, man, it was a big part of my life because that was the first long term relationship that I had ever participated in, right? That I ever experienced. That was the first time that I actually felt like I experienced love. And like she knows who she is. If she's watching this, I still love her very much. She's a great person, and I really enjoyed like our relationship and being together. But it had to come to an end, man. It had to come to an end. And I was 24 to 28 when I was in that relationship. But I realize now that it was necessary for that relationship to come to an end. And it made me realize also that things end. It's not Everything is not supposed to last forever. And I think that, some relationships are like that. But the main lesson that I've learned from that relationship and the point that I am now is that it's important to learn how to let go of people. It's important to let go of things from your past and also to forgive yourself, because I broke up with my ex-girlfriend probably like 2 years ago. It was in July of I think it was July of 2022, around there. So it's almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. But we were on and off, like we'll still hang out, we'll see each other, and we'll have fun together. We'll still keep up with each other. We'll text each other every now and then. But it wasn't serving both of us because we both knew that it wasn't going to work out. And the reason why I think it did not work out, even though we loved each other a lot, at least I loved her a lot. I know she loved me a lot, is because we had a different vision for our lives. Like I did not want to stay living in the same city, same state, country that I lived in before. I wanted to move. There was a lot of things that I wanted to do. I wanted to see a lot of things around the world. I wanted to travel. I wanted to. I was also on a mission, man. I was on a mission with my business. I was on a mission with my career. I wanted to level up my money. And I felt like I was stuck in the same pattern of everyday life back when I was home, and I had to make a very difficult decision there when we broke up, because I knew that if I didn't make that decision at that point, it was going to be very difficult to accomplish the goals that I set out for myself when I was a lot younger. When I was in my early 20s, I wrote down all my goals and everything that I wanted to do. And I saw the trajectory of my life, and I realized that if I stayed on that path, it was going to be very difficult for me to accomplish that. So I had to make a very difficult decision at that point and break up with my ex-girlfriend. But what ended up happening through that process was that, Like I got depressed. I got depressed, and I got down on myself. I got sad. A lot of the things that come from breaking up with someone that you love started to arise, and I didn't realize at the time how powerful those emotions were gonna be. I didn't realize how it was gonna affect also my ex-girlfriend. I'm pretty sure she went through the same thing. But there was a period after we broke up, it's probably like a year after, that I really felt those emotions. I felt like shit, bro. I felt like shit. I was going through a breakup, and it feels like grief. It felt like when my dad passed away when I was in my early 20s. I was like 23 when my dad passed away. So I had those same feelings come back, and it made me. That leads me into the next thing, where it made me really have to focus on my traumas. It made me have to focus on things that I was hiding before, that I never really faced, because I was using my relationship to cover it up. I was using it as cope to some degree, to not face those demons or those traumas that I had buried in the closet, that were always there, but I never really opened them up, or I never revealed them. And I went through a year like that, bro. It was very helpful for me spiritually going through that year. I was deep in the mountains of Mexico, and in that year, I learned so much about myself, man. I went through a monk mode period to some extent, because I was reading every day. I was training. I got shredded. I was deep in Guanajuato, training, reading, educating myself. And that time, I leveled up my career. I leveled up my money. But I was in pain. I was in a lot of pain because of the breakup. And it was a very interesting year, man. And what I realized in that year is that I had to get out of that monk mode. It was hurting my mental health to some degree. I don't recommend being in a monk mode period more than 3 months, especially not the way that I did it. I was in the mountains away from people. And I think that you need a social setting. You need to be around people so you can feel happy. You have that social dynamic, right? Like you're talking to people. And I feel like I wasn't getting that. And during that time, I was still talking to my ex. We were still, going back and forth. But I knew that we weren't gonna get back together, bro. And the reason why I knew is because, like, it's because when you talk to girl, when you're good with girls, bro. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. I'm really good with girls, because I've talked to a lot of girls in my lifetime, man. When I was younger, I was in quinceañeras. I was always around, involved with different girls. And I have a lot of experience with girls, man. It's not something that's like difficult for me to understand. And one thing that you have to learn when it comes to women is that once they make up their mind, once they are hurt, once they have that, like, a little bit, even a little bit of like resentment towards you, it makes it 10 times more difficult to reconcile the relationship. Like, it's it's already tainted to some degree. In Spanish, we say que ya está dañada la relación, está dañada, está rota un poco. It's already, there's a little bit of, yeah, it's tainted. It's like coffee, bro. It's like coffee, right? My mentor always makes this reference, but it's like your coffee. If you make a fresh batch of coffee and then you put a little piece of, like, a little micro piece of shit in it, you're not gonna drink that coffee anymore. It's done. It's tainted. And it's the same thing with relationships. If you put a little bit of shit in there, it's going to be very difficult to clean that shit out and drink that coffee fresh. So that's one thing that I realized as I was going through that breakup phase. And it still hurt, bro. It still hurt. Like, those emotions, they hurt a lot. But the best way to get through those emotions is to feel them, let them come in, and let them come out. And the big takeaway that I had from that is that you have to learn how to let go. At a certain point, I thought to myself, like, it's not gonna work out anymore. Like, it's done, and I have to move on with my life. I can't keep ruminating over that relationship. I can't ruminate on any failed relationship that I've had in the past with either with a girl in my relationships or with family members. That you have to move on. You have to learn how to let go. Forgive yourself and let go, because if you keep on holding on to that, it doesn't allow you to be in the present moment, but it does not allow for something better to flourish. And that's the main takeaway that I got from that point, from that relationship. But I think at this point, like I'm in a way better spot, bro. Like I don't feel, you're always gonna feel it. I think you're always gonna feel those waves every now and then. But I think the best thing that you could do is to just keep maximizing yourself. If there's anybody out there that's going through or has gone through a relationship, the best thing you could do is to keep focusing on yourself, self-improving, focusing on your mission and growing. And you eventually get to a point where you start to get over that person. So that's the main takeaway, man. Is learning how to let go, hoping the best for that person, and also forgiving yourself through the process that it did not work out. Because there's a lot of what could have happened, the woulda coulda shoulda thing mindset. But you don't really, after a certain point, it's like it is what it is. It happened, and now you got to move on. And the next big lesson that I learned is to get focused, to get really focused, to lock in, because you start to realize how fast time moves, how fast it goes. And like I said, I still feel like I'm in my early 20s, but now I'm 31, and it makes me realize how fast time has flown and how fast it goes. It's the silent, it silently creeps away. So now that I start to see the importance of time more visibly, like I can actually see it now, I I appreciate it a lot more, and I try to maximize it as much as I can. Try to take advantage of it as much as I can. And I would say that time is probably the greatest asset that we have. So time, very important. Don't waste it. Use it to the best of your ability. And I think once and you implement this mindset, you make the most out of your day. You make the most out of your time. You don't waste it, and you really maximize your your activities, your output, because of your time. The next big lesson, guys, is energy. We made a video about this a couple of days ago, but energy, man, like positive people is a asset, and you want to be only around positive people, people that uplift you, that help you, support you, because there's no time for negativity, man. Not like time is gonna keep going, is gonna keep slipping away, and if you're around negative people, you're gonna have a negative experience. Your life is going to be negative. And if you start to involve yourself with positive experiences, positive people, positive events, you just feel happy, bro. You just radiate a positive aura. You're more magnetic. You feel happier about yourself. So I think that's one of the big ones there, is to be around positive people and positive experiences more. Have that positive mindset. The next one is to be humble. That I don't like, a lot of people don't know shit, man. I don't know shit. Like there's still a lot of things that I'm still learning, and there's like a sense of humility that comes from that. But I think it's a powerful form of humility, because since I don't know everything, there's a lot of things that I still need to learn. It minimizes that ego, and it makes you learn more. It makes you be more attentive. That even though I'm 31, even though I've learned a lot, I have a lot of experience under my belt, I still don't know shit. And I think a lot of people don't know shit either. Like they're just still learning, they're still going through the ropes. And I think if you adopt this mindset, it allows you to soak in more knowledge faster. You're still a sponge, and you're learning and you're growing. Just because I'm 31 does not necessarily mean that that's where I stop learning, and that's where I stop growing, right? I feel like I'm just getting started. And I feel that if you adopt this mindset, you just ensure that you keep growing and learning. And the next thing is just thinking and having a bigger picture, right? Like thinking about the bigger picture. So I wrote down my notes here just to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. But the last one that I have here is thinking about the bigger picture. Like now that I'm 31, I actually start to think far into the future. I'm thinking about like my legacy, how I am going to be perceived when I die, my future kids, what is necessary for my future kids, stability. Like I started to think about these things, man. And before I didn't think about any of this stuff, but now it's like I want to have kids, man. I want to have a lot of kids. I want them to have everything needed to be successful. A lot of things that I did not have when I was a kid, I want them to have it. I want to foster like the environment where they can grow and have a great life. And it's crazy because now that I start thinking about it, it gives me more fire, more fuel to go harder, to really apply myself and dial in. And I think the biggest thing is the biggest reason why is the bloodline, the legacy aspect to it, because one day I am not going to be here. It's funny how you start to think about your mortality, how we're all going to die eventually. And when you start thinking about that, it makes you think about what are the most important things in life. And I think one of the most important things in life is kids, passing on your bloodline, passing on your family name, all your life lessons, passing it on so they can flourish and they can go on forward for even more future generations. So that's something that I've been thinking a lot more, and I think that it's important to mention because that's the most important things in life: family, kids, passing on a strong generation, a strong legacy, and ensuring that you do the best that you can to make your family proud. And the last thing here that I did not write down is distractions, man. Distractions. It's probably the biggest thing that I would advise a younger version of myself to look out for, especially in my early 20s, is all the distractions there are, bro. You're distracted by everything, by negative people, by the media, by entertainment. And it doesn't, I feel like it muffles you. It drowns out what's truly important. You like your life's mission, your purpose, your vision for yourself. And if you allow those distractions to fulfill your life, that's where regret comes in. That's where you really start feeling those feelings of regrets because distractions are insidious. They just keep you behind. And then 5 years pass, 10 years pass, 15 years pass, and you look back in your life and you're like, what happened, right? And we've all been in that position where we've been distracted to some extent. We've been distracted with people, certain relationships, certain things that just do not, they don't enhance your life, they don't make you better. So now that I'm 31, I think that I'm more picky with everything. I'm more picky with the people that I surround myself with. I'm more picky with the content that I consume. I'm more picky with the girls that I date. I'm more picky with everything. And I think it comes when you start to realize the importance and the value of time, of energy, of your attention, and how precious it is and how fast it can go. So I'm in the stage where I feel good. I feel really good. I feel strong. I feel I feel experienced. I feel like I have a new level of experience that I did not have when I was in my early 20s. And I feel there's a lot more greater things to come, but there's a lot of adjustments that I have to make right now that I'm turning 31, especially when it comes to time, when it comes to being more picky, when it comes to using my energy and attention wisely. And I think that's what you realize once you get to your 30s, that everything is fleeing and you really need to be more specific on where you direct that energy. So There you have it, guys. This video is a bit longer, but I had to get this out of my chest. I think it was very important. I think life is only going to get better. I'm excited for the next chapter. I'm excited for this next year. Yeah, man, it's been a fun year, man. Especially this last year has been really fun. I was in Colombia with my boys, and I was celebrating my boy Fausto's bachelor party. I was his best man, so I coordinated everything. So we're in Cartagena, and then we went to Medellin, Medallo, and then from there came over here to Quito, Ecuador. Next, got a couple cities in my radar. I'm also thinking about going to Asia soon. So Asia, Southeast Asia is on the radar. But a lot of great things are coming, bro. I want to thank everyone in my life. I want to shout out my brother Lupe. I want to thank my mom, Maria Medina. Love my mom to death. My nephews that I love, my friends, all of my great friends, everyone that is in my life, everyone that has wished me a happy birthday, everyone that has been there, that supported me. Without you guys, I can't. I don't want to start crying, man, but you guys are a huge source of happiness and inspiration in my life. And I wouldn't wish it any other way. Like without you guys, my life wouldn't be what it is, and I wouldn't be where I am. It was in support of all of my good friends and my family, especially my close family. Like I said, my brother, my older brother, my mom, and all my good friends. I really appreciate you guys, and yeah, I think it's only gonna get better from here. Life is getting a lot better. It's a great saying that I like, feeling good, living better. And I think that that's the sentiment that I have for this video. But thank you guys. 31 has never felt so good. Probably gonna go celebrate with some friends tonight. I also had this urge to keep working. I don't know if it is just because I'm getting older and I just really want to dial in. But I'm happy, bro. It's a good time. Everything is going according to plan. And like I said, I want to thank everyone, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Very grateful for everyone that I have in my life. I hope you have a great rest of your year, great rest of your day. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video. Stay strong, stay relentless, and keep on conquering. Peace.